everybody, and welcome to Paranormal Nation Radio. How's Denise and Ron doing this evening?
Doing good.
Hey, Nigel.
Hey, Nigel.
Yep,
Thank you.
Nigel's always in.
So yeah, we're good. We're just our area made the Weather Channel yesterday for flooding and tornadoes. In fact, I guess this morning there was one over in Perdido Key.
Yeah, it's you guys are having some rough weather down there in the very southeast and stuff going through.
So far, only thing I've seen is some branches. So
Right. Well,
thank God
before
for
long,
breakouts.
I may have to grow web feet up here and everything. As much rain as we're getting.
Yeah, we got a lot of rain, and we're looking at getting a storage shed, and it's going to go in the back part of the yard.
Yeah,
it's higher in the back, and then it slopes toward the middle. I started to pour the footings. I got the back ones poured, so I started to do the front.
uh-huh.
So I just have the blocks sitting up there. Well, as much rain as we got yesterday, it would have been in the bottom of my shed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I said, uh-oh, I think I may have to set it a little higher.
Exactly. So.
But other than that, nothing's changed since yesterday, thank goodness.
Yeah, we're supposed to have an investigation this weekend that I guess it's going to be outside at a fort. I guess we're getting a lot of rain this weekend, so they canceled it and moved it to 2 weeks?
Yeah. The 31st and the 1st.
Right.
So.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to going there.
Yeah, like I told him, I said, we always know, I said, there's some reason why I didn't book us a campsite, why I wasn't concerned about going. There was something that was telling me that we weren't going to be going. So I wasn't all that concerned about it. But now I at least feel hopeful that we'll make this next one at Fort Blakely. So, still got some places we want to see here. Of course, we haven't seen hardly anything yet.
Right.
So, but speaking of hardly seeing anything, we're going to bring on some people who have seen a lot.
That's right.
And they've been on here before, so I hope you guys are very happy to welcome Sean and Courtney from Hill City Paranormal.
Hey guys,
hello.
How's everybody doing?
Doing great.
Awesome. Well, I think you should send some of that rain this way.
Hey, I'll be glad to send it that way. Now, where are you located?
So we're in Virginia, and like in the forecast, it's shown for the past 2 weeks rain, but it's always been like 10%, and then we don't see it at all. And then when it finally comes, like it's been raining all day, but it's like that mist. So it's not anything significant. And it's like my plants are thirsty. And then we've been working on our pool, opening our pool. And it's like, anybody who opens a pool for the first time in the season knows that you've got to add water to it. So instead of, using my hose, I'm counting on Mother Nature, but she is not coming through here.
Well, the minute you get it full, it'll rain. But it does show the whole state.
Yeah, it shows should be getting something.
Yeah, that shows the whole state of Virginia is supposed to be getting rain this weekend.
Yeah, right. It's like I said, it's in the forecast, but it's also been in the forecast for the past week and a half. But it's like every day it just doesn't come.
The clouds will get dark and then nothing.
It's just a dreary day and no rain.
But thanks for having us back on your show, though.
Yeah,
we had fun last time.
Hey.
Well, that's the whole point, is to have fun.
It was a blast.
Hey, Susan.
Hey, Susan, Mike. Hey, Mom.
Hey, Karen.
Oh, Mom. Mom is in here.
Yeah.
So,
and we got Nigel in here from the UK. He's always the first one that pops in on our show.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if he's not here in the first 20 seconds of the show, we get worried.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. He pops right in because it's, what is it over there? About 1 o'clock in the morning right now, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So you guys working on anything?
As far as
Paranormal.
So we welcomed a team down here. We have a location, an undisclosed location. It is which we discussed last time, that we host public investigations, and we welcomed a hardcore research team down on Saturday, and they did an overnight, and the evidence that was gathered during this overnight was just compelling. And we have investigated this location over a dozen times. And I would say I left Sunday morning when they went to bed. I think their team kind of all called it quits at about 4 o'clock in the morning. And then the gates are opened by somebody else, but we had to go back at 7. And we were just so excited when we came home that we barely slept. And so Sunday, being Mother's Day, we were just like, all right, let's find some stuff to get into. But when I left there, it was, I don't know how to put it into words. The things that happened, and I'll discuss it, or I'll have Sean, go ahead and discuss it or whatever. But the things that happened, if I was a skeptic, I am no longer. And that's just the truth, which I am a very skeptical investigator anyway. You've got to really convince me. We have thousands of dollars worth of equipment. It can go off. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those people that I'm like, okay, why did it go off? You've got to convince me that you're a ghost making this go off. I need to know. But I cannot explain the things that happened Saturday night. I just cannot. And I'll let you go ahead and tell them. Go ahead and break it, because it was just cool.
I think with me was more, it was confirming myself. As an investigator, sometimes I wonder if what I'm really getting is paranormal.
Right.
Or is it because I want it to be paranormal so much? Is it not? So this particular location, we do open it up for public investigations, and we do open it up for teams that want to come in. However, this team is like a hardcore scientific research team. And I wanted to know if the evidence we're getting is going to match theirs.
Yeah.
And it was like neck and neck. Everything that we've got, they got.
Which was, not to interrupt you, that was cool to see them in action, though, with their data logs and their, the so many things that we fail to do as investigators, the core temp, the starting temp, the ending temp, things like that. That was cool.
The guy the leader, I'll tell you who they are. They're ASPS out of Richmond in North Carolina. They, the lead investigator, which is Ed Odell, some people call him Howie. His mind was blown. My mind was blown. Courtney's mind was blown. We cannot figure out this one particular piece of equipment, the laser grid, the little laser pointer, had died. It like complete both of them. He had two of them. He had a red one and a green one, and it completely drained the red one, like to where it wouldn't cut on at all. Completely drained the green one. He said that
we couldn't cut it on. We both
batteries were fully charged before he used it. And we couldn't cut either one of them. He took the battery out, looked at it, put it back. He did everything he could to figure out why the battery died. Because he was like, he shouldn't die this quick. And the entity we were communicating with was one that we've known for a while, one that's communicated with us several times, cut the laser grid back on command, and would do that throughout the night. So like if we asked it to respond to us by cutting the laser grid on, it would cut it on. And we tried over and over to cut it on and off, and we couldn't do it. But the laser grid would cut on and respond. And Howie looked at me and said, Sean, I've never seen this happen before. I said, me neither. I've never seen that happen.
And we've used different pieces of equipment with this particular entity. It's my belief or my opinion that he recognized Sean and myself, because we go in there often and communicate with him. And in our experience, he likes to make himself known via lights. Anything that has a light that he can manipulate, whether it's a REM pod. But this was definitely a first for us. But all night, backing it up from the beginning, again, as I've said, we've investigated this particular location over a dozen times, and the amount of personal experiences that were had by multiple people was what blew my mind. People talk all the time about seeing shadow figures, and shadow figures are caught on camera and things like that. These were darting in and out of tombstones and, across the road while you were driving. And a lot of the time when I personally see a shadow figure, it's normally like late at night, and I chalk it up to my mind playing tricks on me because I'm tired. Because we, humans aren't designed to stay up but for so long. So your mind does start to play tricks on you after a while, especially when you get tired. You'll see stuff, you'll hear stuff, things like that. But I'm talking earlier in the night, and it was all night. And, it was different teams and different locations that were, when we met back at base camp to do a debrief, that were all reporting seeing shadow figures around the same area. And, the other cool thing that happened to us was, cause there's multiple buildings on this property. Okay. So we split off, he broke off into teams, but, we were floating, kind of trying to see how each team investigated. And the first team that we were with, I watched with my own two eyes, a mist, like a real thick mist, form like right in front of me, and it was like coming closer. And at one point I caught myself actually leaning back in my chair because it was coming like right at my face, and I put my hand like this. I don't know what I was thinking, but I remember putting my hand as though, all right, hold on, you're a little bit too close for me. And I said that out loud, and the mist actually backed up and surrounded the investigator that was communicating with an entity in front of a coffin. And it stayed there. And I tried every angle possible to get it on camera, like night mode, take flash off, put flash on, and it could not get captured on camera. So I finally spoke up after a few minutes, and I said, do you guys see that? Or does anybody have like a vape in their pocket that maybe like the button accidentally went off and created, or did somebody just get done coming in from outside smoking? Like, I was trying to figure out a logical explanation for this mist. And so right when I said that, everybody kind of turned and looked, and it was just so thick and visible. And, the equipment that was sitting within the mist was going off at the same time. So it was just, I guess that leads me to my next question that we asked, which we can bring this up publicly. We were going to talk about on our podcast tonight, but we were wondering if the geostorm had anything to do with this ramped up activity that was going on, because it was really bizarre. The things that were happening could not be explained. And, the laser grid, we were utilizing that as an actual yes or no device. Like, hey, if you're here and you can hear me, can you cut that light, the green light, back on and off again? And damned if it didn't cut on and off again. And, I even at one point I said, do you recognize the guy sitting behind me? And it's funny because we've communicating, and I'll tell exactly what I said, but I said the big black man sitting behind me. And the reason that I said that is because this particular entity across the spirit box has called him the big black man. So right when I said that, the laser grid lit up and cut back off. And so he said, do you remember us having a conversation before? If so, can you cut it on? And it came on and off. And it was just, this went on for an hour. I mean, an absolute hour. And it was just craziness. Like, my mind was blown. We were trying to get pictures. And ironically enough, I remember taking pictures in this particular location, and I took about a dozen of them. And when we were having a conversation yesterday, I said, you know what? I didn't even review my pictures. Let me pull them up. And none of them were there. I had not one single solitary picture in my phone.
And I've had that before.
What in the heck?
So the geostorms, we have a friend that every time there is a geomagnetic storm of any kind, he will make sure that he's investigating at that time. He's very big into the scientific. In fact, that's the whole point of it for him is scientific, not, hey, will you talk to me kind of thing. But yeah, he's had all kinds of activity during the geomagnetic storms. And there's an app you can get on your phone that will tell you when the geomagnetic storms are happening.
Oh, send me that, because I would love to have that, at my disposal.
It's very possible, because we've been on a lot of locations where we weren't getting a lot of activity, and then an actual thunderstorm would roll in, and the activity, it goes way up.
Now, we have had that happen as far as like actual rain, thunder, lightning, things like that.
Yeah.
The activity will ramp up. This particular night, there was none of that. It was just the northern lights that were going on. So it was just, it was crazy.
Night,
so,
Nigel.
Yeah, they may have helped it.
Good night,
Yeah.
Nigel.
But
another thing that will also ramp up activity, we haven't had the full moon or new moon cause any trouble. Never had any
we
of
just
that.
keep track of that.
But one of the things that did increase activity was the eclipse.
see, and I'm going to have to, we investigated during the eclipse. We had an investigation that night.
Yep.
And we got nothing.
This was during the actual eclipse.
Yeah, during.
In the Sally house, I was pushed down the stairs. It was quiet outside. He couldn't hear a damn thing other than crickets. In the house, it was so loud that you couldn't hear yourself think.
That's crazy.
Wow.
There
was what,
3 minutes.
4 or 5. There's about 4 or 5 of you that were inside the house. And all everyone came out with a weird look on their face, like, what the hell just happened? And we're sitting outside. I had a couple camera guys out there with me, and we're going, what's going on?
Right.
Just quiet.
And that was in 2017. So
see, now I do not believe that the moon cycles affect the paranormal, because the moon cycle in rotation constantly. So I think that that's just more, but I really do believe that the geostorm caused the ramp up in activity and the ramp up in personal experiences. That was super cool. Cause like I said, I mean, the personal experiences that I like are the ones that aren't caught on camera, but I don't like them because I want to tell everybody that it happened, but nobody's going to freaking believe you unless you have it on camera. Like the general paranormal rule of thumb is if you didn't catch it on camera, it didn't happen.
Well, it's like you're saying the shadow figures, they were going fast, weren't they?
Yeah, like
I was going to say,
I mean, real fast. And nobody could run that. There's no way anyone could run even close to that fast. Yeah, we've seen that before. I have.
Well, I caught one on camera, the shadow figure at Rainworth Lodge. When I went outside, it manifested on the garage and then
darted across
took off like a flash.
Yeah.
And I had to slow it down to 0.25 and it was still moving too fast.
But that was caught. I'll tell you what, I will not go back to anything other than a body cam. We do put up stationary cameras, but the evidence that we've caught on our body cams is crazy. EVPs.
Insane.
I mean, my favorite EVP, and I've talked about this before on our podcast, we always try different methods of investigating. And so this particular night we split up by genders. So the men went over here, women went over here, thinking maybe, if something doesn't want to talk to men, we're here. So we were getting nothing. The girls were getting nothing. So we all decided to pack it up and go be nosy and see what the guys were doing. So I walked in and, I said, Marco. And then I kept walking and then I found them and I said, that would have been crazy if I heard somebody answer Polo. We all laughed and went about our investigation. We went back and reviewed evidence. Right after I said Marco, a female voice came through and said Polo. And so we did catch that EVP on the body cam. So, but aside from Saturday, we did an investigation the weekend prior at the Blue Ball Inn, the 1747 Blue Ball Inn in Clearbrook, Virginia, which is just outside of Brucetown, which is about 10 miles from Winchester. And I went in there very skeptical. I don't know how you went in there. I went in there
I'm going
very
to every
skeptical.
investigation skeptical, to be honest with you.
Well,
Right.
I allowed other people to get into my head on this investigation. I had several people message me and be like, that location isn't haunted. Dude's faking it. Like, look at his Facebook profile. And they screenshotted me his profile, like where all of, how your jobs are listed and it says like actor, movie director, da da da. So everybody kept telling me just solar tracker. Awesome. Remember that. I'm going to write that down. Everybody kept telling me like this dude's full of shit. And so I went in there like, ain't nothing going to happen in here. And I'll let you go ahead and tell that one too, because that was another crazy night that we had. Like, I was just, wow.
That one, our equipment really didn't do a whole lot. I mean, I have a lantern that goes, doesn't use, what is it?
You have to it's a REM.
You have to physically touch it. It doesn't, you can do the radio thing and it won't go off. Phones won't set it off. You have to actually touch this.
It's not like a REM where you can go near it. Like you have to physically touch the lantern for it to go off.
And so that went off nonstop for like maybe 20 minutes. And that was weird. There was nothing touching it.
And we had a laser grid in that room.
The weird part was when you walked up to it, though, it would stop. You walk away from it, and it would start doing it again. So, I checked the battery. The battery was full. The knocks on the wall, that's how I was communicating with the entity in there. I would knock on the wall, and it would knock back. So I was like, okay, that's a coincidence. Let's try knocking twice. Give me 2 knocks back, and it would knock back twice. I think we got to 3 or 4 knocks, and it would do it.
Yeah.
Right behind me, which... I couldn't understand how it did that because the room the knocks were coming from was just a hallway that nobody would have been in.
Right.
And my team was accounted for. The whole team was in one location at that time.
And the entity that we were communicating with, I use a phone app called Spirit Talker, but I use that as... I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. A guide, kind of like if we're asking questions to a spirit, sometimes we get sick of asking the same questions. So like Spirit Talk will rattle off like a word, like it'll say, I don't know, blue. And so then I will use that as a guide for my next question. Like, is blue your favorite color? Is the outfit that you're wearing blue? If so, then can you touch the red light if I have a REM pod up or whatever? So, I just so happened to be taking a break and I was eating a cinnamon roll from the truck stop up the road. You can't beat it. So, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, asking all these questions, getting no responses. And I had the dead bell from Ghost Stop. I don't know if you guys know. Okay. So the dead bell was up on the mantle and it was not going off at all. And I'm just like, so I made a joke and I said, do you want a bite of my cinnamon roll? If so, can you ring the bell? Nothing happened. So then I said, do you know what a cinnamon roll is? If so, can you ring the bell 2 times? And I said, ding, ding. And the bell went right behind me. Ding, ding. So I was like, okay, it didn't want to bite, but it knew what it was. So Spirit Talker, was going in the background at the same time, and we got the name Esther. Esther is not one of the names on the historic registry at all that we were given, any history about. So I said, all right, if your name is Esther, can you ring the bell 3 times? Ding, ding, ding. And the bell went ding, ding, ding. And so we rolled with the name Esther at that point, because I'm like, okay, well, it could have been a passing through spirit. It could have been the homeowner that passed away. She had 13 children, and half of her names aren't accounted for, and her children died before her. So it could have been one of her children. You know what I'm saying? So we rolled with that, and I went and told Sean about the name Esther, and that's what he was utilizing. Esther, if you're in here, can you knock back or finish the sequence, and everybody always does the da da na na na, and then we're waiting for the ghost to go na na. All right, so and Esther was communicating with Sean, and so we believe we were communicating with a female entity by the name of Esther, and the feeling of an elderly woman was very heavy in that location, very heavy, and they did tell us about a specific chair that was in the room that was a woman's favorite chair. And Sean put up tripwire and the lights right in front of that chair. And we had one of our investigators that was sitting in the chair that was a woman. And the tripwire right in front of that chair was just going berserk. So, I don't know. Again, I can't explain all the things that he told me about the location. I did not get intelligent responses based on that historical presentation that he gave. I did not hear children laughing or playing up on the third floor, which has been reported by other teams. I did not. There's a resident bird apparently that made its way up into the attic. I didn't even see the resident bird. We did hear footsteps. There was a lot of footsteps. Again, the place was built in 1747. It was originally a tavern. Then it turned into a hotel / tavern. Then it turned into a home, and it was, I believe it was lived in up until the 90s.
Yeah.
Something like that. There was a gentleman that lived there up until the 90s until he passed away. And half of the house was boarded up. Like you can see on the floor where they knocked down walls. So
Esther could have actually have been somebody who stayed in the hotel or just like the restaurant,
right,
or the tavern at one time.
Yep, could have been.
Maybe she worked there. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we don't know about people who came and went.
Right.
Why they think it's important. Courtney, where are you from?
California.
How long have you been on the East Coast?
Since 2008.
You've picked it up well.
I'm sure.
Because you talk like you're from Maryland or Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's the fast talk. That's a West Coast. You talk fast.
I grew up in Baltimore, so.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty good at recognizing it. That's why I had to ask, because it's like
quite
only
a few years.
words.
She talked so fast I couldn't pick it up.
I've gotten that a lot. I'm trying. I'm trying to learn how to like slow down and kind of like let everybody process what I'm saying. But I guess it's still there. It'll always be there, I think.
I slowed down.
Now, what kind of tripwire did you set up in front of that rocking chair?
The electronic one with the lights on it.
Okay.
I can't remember what company it's from. I got it. No, it's in the car. It's still in.
We've seen it in person at the McIntyre Villa.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say we don't buy a lot of equipment. We get involved with teams that have a lot of equipment.
Yeah, we're gonna be out. We're gonna be outside a lot. I'm thinking about getting a FLIR.
I just got one about 2 months ago.
Is that
Those are cool
for your phone?
No, I got the hand one. I have attachment. You can walk around with it. That thing's powerful. It picked up. We were at Rainworth Lodge investigating in the servants' quarters, and it's kind of run down. But we picked up a squirrel sleeping in the wall. Like it picked up through the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that thing's powerful.
Yeah, y'all kept messing with me.
Which FLIR did you get? Because if you go online, they got hundreds of them.
I
thought
I can look it up real quick. It looks like a little cell phone almost.
Oh, okay.
It was cool though. The squirrel was definitely interesting.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I think those will work really good for outdoor locations.
Yes.
Well, I guess inside too, but
yeah, either way they would work.
We took the FLIR in the woods at the cabin, didn't we?
Yep.
We took the FLIR and
it's the FLIR CS Compact.
CS Compact.
Yep.
And you can get like an attachment tripod, so it's not like
dropped significantly.
Oh, so get it now.
On Amazon, it is going for $550 right now.
Oh wow.
That's about $200 cheaper than I paid for it.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not sure about the little attachment for your phone. I don't know how well that would work.
It won't work well if you don't have the stuff in your phone.
Yeah, I'd rather not use my phone that much during the investigation.
Well, the FLIR that hooks up to your phone, the FLIR has the camera in the device, and that's the camera it uses, not your camera on your phone.
Right.
Don't know if I want more shit plugged into my phone.
I know, but if you do that,
Yeah, one isn't in your phone. Like it's an actual like independent device.
Yeah,
But
there's,
it just snaps on.
yeah, there's one for your phone that just plugs into the
Yeah,
thing,
it
into
just
the
plugs right in.
right into the charging hole.
Mhm.
And when they first made
How much
them,
were those?
they're
Or how much-
179.
Yeah.
So they were $179 back then.
Right.
And hell, they had those back in 20. I have to say is probably 2015 is when I started seeing them.
Well, they were using one of those FLIRs like that at the courthouse during COVID. When you
Yeah.
walked in, you had to stand in front of it so it'd check your temperature.
Yeah.
I
That's
was like,
one thing
"You're
I like
kidding
about
me."
That's one thing I really like about the FLIR is that when I investigate with it, it'll tell me the ambient temperature, and then it has a little blue dot that goes around the room and finds the cold spots in the room.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I use it probably every investigation, inside and outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we
Yeah, I
investigate.
would too.
We use a weather station as well whenever we're investigating. So we know the barometric pressure, the temperature inside and out, phase of the moon. We watch all that while we're doing our investigations.
Well, the good thing about the FLIR is that you'll know when you need to fix your windows.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yep, you'll know when you're going. Ah, crap! I gotta go buy that 3M crap again.
Yeah. Then you always got to do the handprint trick with the FLIR. Put your handprint on the wall, and then the FLIR pick up just your handprint.
Yeah.
It's neat looking anyway.
Yeah. I love the FLIR.
I do too. I think that they're neat.
Yeah, that's the only thing I really want to add to ours.
And I picked up stuff with a FLIR. I picked up we were investigating a room one time, and one section of the room that shouldn't have been cold was just cold the entire time. And that's where the music box was going off. That's where the REM pod was going off. And then in another place, we were investigating an actual garage. It was built on top of a battlefield, and there was an old farmhouse there where someone had gotten killed over a poker game. And one of our investigators was walking down one of the garage bays, and we saw a blue shadow walk right behind him. That was on the FLIR.
Oh, really?
The FLIR's good. It's just expensive as hell.
Oh, yeah.
But all paranormal equipment is.
Yeah, all
But
good
see, with the
paranormal
FLIR,
equipment
though-
is expensive.
But with the FLIR, you can use it for other things. You can make it part of your honey-do list to check the windows and see where everything's leaking.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Make it a win-win.
Oh yeah. It's a good investment. I'll admit that.
Now, I do want to comment. Michael Roberts said thermal cameras are great. Just watch out for glass reflections. We actually experienced that for the first time on Saturday, where we were investigating with somebody, and they had asked to use Sean's FLIR, and he was getting a reflection of the other investigator actually in a picture frame. So that, yes, we are now going to be especially aware, especially for picture frames and things like that. We kind of knew like the mirror and the glass, but even like pictures, I mean, we would rather stay away from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sliding glass doors are horrible, aren't they?
Oh God. Yeah.
So, so you guys had a good investigation with Ed and his team.
Yep.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad. And are they
Yeah,
going to talk
excellent
to you
group of
about
people.
everything that they got, or
Yes, they're supposed to be delivering a case file. So we'll be able to present that to the location as well, because the director of the location is very interested in everything that we're doing and the research that we're conducting there and things like that. Obviously, they don't want their sole purpose to be paranormal investigations. They don't want to be known for that, because there's, a ton of other things to do at this location. But he is very interested in us confirming the things that he's also experienced.
well, the location needs to understand that they're not open 24 hours a day, and this way they can make money 24 hours a day.
Right.
Yeah, and
That's what we're
they're
working on.
nonprofit.
That's what we're working on.
So whenever we do our investigations, we're definitely donating money to them. Hopefully that'll ease up the people who are against us doing our investigations
Yeah.
there.
Leave it up to Virginia, one of the oldest states in the union, and they have to do that.
Yes.
And it's the board. They have like just a weird group of people that they think we're conjuring demons or worshiping the devil.
I had asked a couple people to be on my show that are from Virginia, and they said one of the funny things they said was, "I'm Christian."
So
I said, "We don't have to talk about ghosts. I just want to talk to you."
Well, we're not talking
about.
If
you want to talk about ghosts.
We're not talking about Satan. I mean, but even so, like, I'm a Christian too, but I don't, worship the devil. I don't go out and try to purposely communicate with the devil. But if you're a Christian, my biggest thing is, if you believe in God, you have to believe in the devil too. You've got to.
Exactly.
You just don't have to
talk. It talks about it in the Bible.
Yeah. I mean,
talks about spirits in the Bible too.
That's what a lot of these, I call them Bible thumpers is what I call them. Might not be a conventional term. That's okay. I'm not a conventional person. I can tell you right now that I wake up every single morning and I thank God for waking me up every single morning. Every day that I'm above ground, it is a great day. But I don't sit here and throw the Bible at people and say, you cuss and you drink and you smoke, so therefore you're not a Christian. Because you know what? I may not have read the Bible front to back, but I grew up learning that Jesus walks amongst the sinners, not amongst the holy. So if you're, smoking crack or drinking or you're a prostitute or whatever, Jesus is going to be right there with you. Not with somebody that's thumping the Bible every day saying this is how you need to live.
Right. Well, you look at Mary Magdalene. She was a prostitute.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's there in the Last Supper in the picture.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right.
But he had to serve the water and the wine.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta watch
and service everybody, but you
kind of have to watch people that are.
What were you saying?
I have to watch the people that are, doing all this criticizing of, if they want to criticize you for doing what you're doing, you got to watch those people because those are the ones that are usually doing the stuff they're accusing you of.
Absolutely.
I was about to go there. I was just about to say those same people who calling us devil worshipers and messing with the devil are the same ones at the bars turning up, same ones cheating on their husbands, the same ones doing all kind of stuff. So
exactly.
You look at what me and Gary has heard. My co-founder Gary.
Gary's
he's my pastor.
He's on a group.
He's my pastor from the church and everything, and we're paranormal. He's known as the paranormal pastor. But we've heard it from other pastors. Why are you guys out there doing this, talking to ghosts and everything? I said, you're a pastor. You read the Bible. Does it talk about ghosts and spirits? Yeah, well, that's the Old Testament. I said, well, it's the Bible.
Changed?
And that's the problem. The Bible's been rewritten, X amount of time. And the thing is, I tell everybody, and my favorite statement is this: I would rather talk to ghosts than actual people half the time, because the ghosts aren't judging me. They're not looking down on me.
If they are, you just don't know it because you can't see them.
Exactly. Exactly. They might be judging me like this crazy bitch, but I just, I really feel, there's been several locations that I've felt more at peace in those locations than I have walking through the grocery store.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a true story. I would rather communicate with spirits, and the way that society's going, hell, half of them are more freaking intelligent than the people that are out here roaming around anyway.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
So
dumb people with smartphones.
Yes. This is true.
And we're not getting smarter.
No,
Human race is not getting
it's
smarter.
not.
No, our younger generation isn't getting smarter.
Boy,
Who'd have thunk?
that's
Who'd have thunk that the death of the landline would be the death of the people?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sorry, I work for a telephone company.
You know, and that's true. And you can actually talk about that for a second. The death of the landline. You know, we would literally pick up the phone back in the day and be like, "Hey, are you what do you do? Are you busy? No, all right, I'm on my way." And we would go and actually like go over to this person and have a face-to-face conversation. Now, everything is so impersonal.
Yep.
Video chat.
If somebody passes away, you're just texting them and asking, "Hey, you all right?" When all in all, you really should be going to get some flowers or cook a meal and physically delivering it to their doorstep. If somebody's in the hospital or having surgery, people are just sending messages, "Hey, how'd it go?"
Yeah.
You really don't give a crap how.
My neighbors brought me flowers.
That's what I'm saying. See, and that's what we did back in the day. If somebody in our neighborhood growing up, if somebody in our neighborhood gave birth to a child, the whole damn neighborhood was delivering food. That family didn't have to cook for like a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Our neighborhood did that for a lady who had a baby recently, and it's like there's too many people bringing stuff. I was like, they're not even gonna get to mine. But
yeah, we live in a very
agree.
impersonal. We live in a very impersonal world.
Yeah,
And Carl, you said it best. This younger generation is effed.
Yeah.
Well,
really
look at the younger generation. It's going to take over the paranormal.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
It's going to be ghosts with man buns.
Yeah. Or, it's just like what we say when we hear a spirit talk, we don't know exactly who we're talking to, male or female. It'll fit right in with them because they don't know the damn difference between a male and a female to begin with.
That's true, too.
They're probably not going to ask the question, are you male or are you female?
Or no, they're going to ask the question, do you identify as they, them?
Do you need a cat litter box?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Please.
yeah. Are you a furry?
Yeah.
There's a school about maybe 10 miles from here that actually lets students go and use a litter box. Or they have
I have heard that so many times from different people all over the United States on our shows and everything. And people in the comments go, "That's not really happening." And I said, "Yes, it is. I can send you pictures of it."
I didn't believe it either until a school administrator told me that.
Yeah. Wow. Can you imagine a kid going to the bathroom in a litter box?
No, because I
get yelled at for peeing on the beach.
I wonder how many janitors have quit.
They're eating Tide Pods. I mean, why not?
Well, I think they've moved on from Tide Pods. I feel like they're eating what is it now? It went like asphalt to Tide Pods to now everything's vegan.
How did that start?
Man,
you're doing laundry and you go, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm going to eat this."
Yeah, some idiot went, "Oh, I got to hide this from mom."
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand the younger generation language. I mean, there's times when I'm communicating with my stepdaughter and I have to look up what she's talking about because I just do not know. Or I'll ask her, like, "What does this mean?"
And she'll say, "I don't know."
And she'll
how about
no, she has a full explanation.
You're at a frat party and say, "Hey, guy, I got an idea. Here, bend over. Let's pour this beer in your ass, and you'll get drunk quicker." I mean, where did that come from?
It's called.
That takes all the fun out of it.
They got a name for it. It's funny you brought that up because a buddy of mine just told me about that.
No, you take the beer bong. You take the beer bong and you stick it in your butthole.
It's called boofing.
It's called boofing. There's a term. This is a thing.
That's called enema is what that's called.
I know.
I can think of 100 places where beer can go, and my asshole is not one.
Exactly.
People do coffee enemas all the time.
They do. They do.
Coffee
it's not any different.
Well, they say coffee enemas are actually really good for you.
Yeah, right.
It just makes you go anyway.
No.
Well, I guess that's what you do with Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh, I try to
It's better
PBR.
in your ass than your mouth. That's
I try to PBR. I try to PBR.
yeah.
You remember when we went to
Natty Boh.
Nashville?
Oh yeah, that one bar
We
that
went-
only served people. No, it wasn't Nashville. It was South Carolina.
No, I think it was Nashville.
No, it was the Bowery. That's all they served.
Oh my God, PBR is the worst beer ever.
Oh,
I tried to
man.
Have
PBR
you
for the
had-
first class and
okay.
only time.
Have you had Natty Boh?
No.
Okay, well then you haven't had the worst beer ever.
No,
Well,
you
so
haven't.
far, to the beers that I have drank, PBR is rough.
Go,
Yeah.
go
no,
get a
no,
Natty
no,
Boh
no, no.
and tell
Ugh.
me what your opinion is then.
They
You're
are
not old
branch
enough
meat.
to remember Falstaff.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was one of the nastiest beers there
Was
ever
it?
was, ever made.
You
Ugh.
do know
Never
that
had that.
we went to the Lent Mansion, and they're the ones that took that out, or then they sell it.
Yeah, they sold it.
Yeah, they
Oh,
sold it.
really?
They're the ones that
That's
created
probably
it.
why.
Oh, yeah, because everybody that opened Falstaff, you made sure they had a salt shaker because they would load that beer up with salt just to
Oh, God.
down the taste on it.
Oh God.
Yeah,
That's-
it was nasty.
gotta hide the taste.
Oh, God.
It was a horrible lager.
Yes, it
See, I
was.
don't do lagers. Now, Sean does lagers.
I love lager.
He loves a lager.
Yingling, I can drink it
Mm-mm.
cold, warm.
I don't do
like
ales,
Yingling.
lagers, anything.
Yeah,
sweet.
I haven't had it in a long time.
Where we're at, there's a ton, like we're surrounded by breweries. Like
Yeah.
surrounded.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I just I cannot. I've tried a lager, I've tried an ale, and it's just not my thing.
So you like pilsners?
No.
No.
No, I'm not a huge. If I'm gonna drink a beer, it's probably gonna be a Michelob Ultra.
There you
And
go.
I always, I'll put like a lemon in it every now and then. That's just that's been my thing, like ever since I turned 21. But
I've always known you to drink Bud Light.
I switched over once I tried a Mick Ultra. I was a huge Bud Light drinker, even through the whole Bud Light, like let's all protest Bud Light.
Yeah.
I still was ordering Bud Light because if I like what I like, I'm not going to protest a beer because you tell me to protest a beer. That's what's wrong with America.
That's what's wrong. With
That's
the
what's
younger
wrong.
generation.
Too many followers.
Right. There's too many followers. So
Not enough leaders.
somebody you had a show at Smith Mountain Lake and they had put Mick Ultra in the cooler. And that's when I tried it and was like, oh my God, this is really good. And then I found out it was half the calories and half the, all that stuff. And so I stuck with that. It's not a bad beer, Mick Ultra.
Right.
So
It's funny you should mention Smith Mountain Lake. My aunt and uncle used to own a house there.
Mhm.
Mm.
we haven't been out there in a year, but I mean, it's a beautiful lake.
I remember going there when I was a kid, but I haven't been there, I'd say, since 77.
Yeah, it's changed quite a bit.
It's
Oh, I
like,
know.
It's you can't barely the lakes around here in the summertime. If you want to pack up, take all the kids to the lake, it's like more of a hassle than it's worth.
it's like going to the beach.
You can't find a spot unless you get there right when they open their doors. And then by the time, an hour or two goes by, you have no room at all to sit or even think or relax.
Wow.
It wasn't like that back then.
So,
It wasn't like that when I was a kid going to the lake.
yeah.
I still remember when Gretna was just 2 lanes and easy peasy to get around.
Speaking of
But,
Gretna, they are selling Jack's Snack Shack.
That's what you said.
Yeah. That's one of our favorite places, but I just saw on Facebook that they put it up for sale. So that's sad.
Mom and pop shops do not last long anymore.
Not around here.
They're dying
Not
out.
anywhere.
Hopefully somebody buys it.
I hope so.
Keeps it going.
The bad part is Gretna's just on a road between here and here, just a drive through.
Talking about this.
Yeah. If somebody hadn't have told me about the place, I would have never known that it was there.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird the last time I went there. I hadn't been there since I went in 99. Was it 99? 98. I went in 98. First time by myself. And I pull into town and I'm going, I have an aunt and uncle who live here. I don't know where they are. I went to the Gretna Motel, and because it was the only place I knew. Okay, only place I knew, and I'd stayed there many times as a child. On the backside, back by the cows, and I go to the door. I go and I knock on the window because it's not like it used to be where you could walk into the office and stuff.
Nope.
And I asked the guy. I said, "Do you have a phone book?" And he looked at me. Of course, there were still phone books in 1998.
Yes, there was.
And he handed it to me, and I looked up the number. And then the person I'm looking for has the last name of Smith. Okay.
Great.
Good luck with that one.
Yep.
No, my Uncle Harvey. But luckily, his name was Harvey, so it's not.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up, and I find it, and I asked if I could use their phone because, I didn't have cell phone or anything. And I told them I showed them the number I was going to be calling so they'd know it wasn't long distance. And I told them why, and they were really nice. And so I called and I told my uncle, I said, "I'm in town. Can I come and see you?" And they tell me, "We're in Alta Vista." I'm like, okay. And like I said, Gretna's on the road, on the way from here to here. It's not the big town. I don't even know if they have a Walmart.
No, they don't.
Nope.
I assume that's in Alta Vista.
Yeah, Alta Vista does.
Or Danville.
And see, they closed down. Like, I feel like everybody's ruining everything around us. Like, we used to have our favorite fishing spot was at the Leesville Dam, which is in between here and Gretna, right?
Yep.
Or is it? Yeah, it's in between here and Gretna. And of course, just people. And we used to go down there when we would fish. We would, if we didn't catch anything that night, we would fill our bucket just full of trash that was left by other people, just trying to keep the place somewhat clean. And we used to say to each other, I remember we used to sit here and specifically say,
they're going to shut this down soon.
Yeah, because people just didn't care. Like, people would use the bathroom, like number 2, just right there on the sidewalk, leave the toilet paper, worms, beer cans, alcohol bottles, things like that. And he said to me, they're going to shut this down. And less than 30 days later, they locked the gates.
Wow.
There used to be a trailer park or a camper park back in there. And we lived back in there at one time. Back in the 60s. So that'll tell you something. So we had all kinds of history. Well, I have all kinds of history there. I just don't even know half my family there. And I have a lot of family in that area that I haven't seen since. Well, some I saw back in 1998. I haven't seen any of them since 1977.
Right.
Wow.
So
that's where your dad's buried, right?
My dad's buried in Gretna.
Yeah.
I would tell you the whole story, but that'll ruin it when you guys go.
Yeah,
to
don't
investigate.
No, I want to find out. I got your inbox. I got all the information. I had surgery. Today is 9 days ago. So I've been recovering. And I've got a 6-week recovery. So once I get back on my feet, good to go, we already when I got your inbox that day, I was like, we got to go over there. And he was like, okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. So I'm thinking it's probably going to happen in the next couple weeks, just while I'm off work recovering, because that's the best time to do it. Right.
There's a little road right there. You could sit in the car if you had to.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
I can't wait, actually. Gretna's a lot.
Like I said, you can call me. And or share and
do it live.
Yeah, do it live.
Yeah, when you get all your evidence, get a hold of Denise and we'll bring you back on the show.
Back on here, and we can tell you all about it.
Yeah, that would be cool. Speaking of that, Thursday we're headed to Gettysburg. We're just doing a day trip, but we were asked to stop back by Rainworth and help. Activity that he needs some help with. So I told him, I said, we weren't planning on bringing any paranormal equipment because, for the sole reason, I'm ashamed to say this, we have been to Gettysburg probably more than this, or equal amounts to being home. It's like our home away from home. And we have never, and we stay at the 1863 Inn in Gettysburg, and we have never stepped foot in the Jenny Wade Museum.
Neither have we. Well,
And
actually, I did.
Well, yeah, I guess we walked up to
We
it.
walked up to it, but I was in it back in 76 or 77.
see, I'm ashamed
So-
to say that as many times I've been to Gettysburg, there's so much stuff that I haven't done. And so
Have
we
you
were going to
been?
go.
Check out the Mason-Dixon Distillery.
Haven't been there either.
It just opened up when we were there back in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't been there either. We haven't been. I want to find the natural spring that's on the battlefield. And then I don't know if you guys saw, but the Gettysburg is doing a pilot program right now for the next 3 years, where they're opening up 2 of the houses that are actually physically on the battlefield for people to stay overnight.
Oh, wow.
And do whatever they, if you're going to investigate whatever, or if you're going to do this. I think one of them is $250 a night. I think that's like a loft style house. And then the other one I think is $400. That's like a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. Let me get the names of it. I feel like it's the, let me see.
I look forward to trying to do that.
But if you stay in that house, are you going to be able to take your equipment in there? Because you can't take it out on the battlefield.
Right.
So it's, I don't see why you can't. It's a part of your luggage.
Yeah.
You're
you can take it
renting
in
the
there,
house.
you just, the main thing is you just can't take an EMF detector out on the field.
Right. So the first one is the Bushman House. And the second one is Slider, SLYDER House. And you go to nps.gov or visit the Gettysburg National Military Park Facebook page or whatever. But I don't know if you guys can see. Normally I can there's one of them.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that house.
Wow.
And there's the
better.
Yep, I've seen that one too from a
Yep.
distance, just like
so
that.
those are the 2 that they're starting a pilot program to where they're going to allow overnight stays. They're trying to get money for restoration and renovation projects on the battlefield. And I think everybody's kind of like starting to loosen up a little bit with the whole paranormal thing, especially in Gettysburg. I personally think, and we've had this conversation, that every town should be like Gettysburg. If you know you've got a haunted location, why not invite? Like, we're willing to pay you.
Right.
Like, you've got money that could be made.
Only problem is
Right.
people get carried away with those prices on stuff.
Yeah.
They do. They get.
That was one of the things about Gettysburg that I did not like, was the dueling paranormal tours. They
That
were
was,
yelling at each other across the
you
road
had-
from each other. I'm like,
The only way you could get, when we went, the only way you could get into any house was you had to overpay for a paranormal tour with, a whole bunch of people.
See, now
And
we've
way
been
overpaid.
We've
was
been lucky enough to jump on some. We jump on the latest one that they have, which is like, I think that's 11 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And there's less people there. Like, if you're going to jump on a 5 p.m. tour, yeah, you're going to have like 20 people. But we did on our YouTube page, I put together like an 8 or 9 minute compilation of like all the stuff that we got on one of our extreme tours that we did. With Gettysburg Paranormal Association, and I got some cool stuff. Like, audible footsteps in the same room that were caught on camera, and you can visibly see everybody sitting down and not moving on camera. There was REM pod activity in the schoolhouse, but like you said, the only way to get into specific locations is jump on one of those tours,
Or have a friend that's on
or
one of
have
the
a
teams.
friend that's on one of the teams. Wink, wink.
Right.
But I have, speaking of their prices, I just told Sean 2 days ago when we had booked our hotel for Thursday, I told him, I said, holy shit, because whenever I go through booking.com, and whenever I do, they send me an email like, these are the attractions, here's some coupons or whatever. And I got the coupon, and with the coupon for a ghost tour, the ticket was $70 a person.
Yeah.
I was like, Sean,
Yeah.
I remember paying $30 last time we went, and this was like 2 months ago. So then I had to do some research and figure out, okay, 1A, it's tourist season.
yeah.
You know, we're going in May. It's summertime. Everybody travels. But this is the same, with
Still
the hotel.
gouging.
Yeah, same with the hotel
Yeah, it
room.
was
They're price
expensive when
gouging.
we went.
They're price gouging like hell on the hotel rooms right now in Gettysburg. For a one night stay, it was like $163.
Oh, that's not horrible.
It's it's not. I've paid worse, but I'm just like, when you frequent a location so much, you're used to what you normally pay.
Right.
Yeah. Does Friendly still have half price breakfast during the week?
I have not eaten at Friendly's since 2000. When was Kiara born? 2007. And I had a bad experience and refused to step into any Friendly's again.
My first job was an ice cream scooper at Friendly's in Maryland. So
maybe they're not so friendly anymore.
I know pretty much there's not very many left.
I got food poisoning, and once I get it,
that would do it.
Ruby
I don't blame you.
For me, Ruby Tuesdays and Chipotle. I won't eat at either one.
Oh, now we need to end this podcast because Sean refuses to take me to Chipotle.
It's overrated. In my opinion.
Way overrated.
You might as well go to
Taco Bell.
I like Taco Bell too.
Go to Moe's.
I've heard Moe's was good.
Didn't they shut Moe's down and turn it into Noodles and Company or something?
Noodles and Company sucks.
Like $1,200.
My son is obsessed with Noodles and Company, and I said, "Are you seriously door dashing $50 worth of ramen? Like, what are you doing?"
Well, they have mac and cheese.
Yeah, he did say that. He said you can customize your mac and cheese or something.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I took the kids there once, and I was like, "Nah."
It must be an East Coast thing.
No, we have a Noodles and more. We had a Noodles and more.
No, mac and cheese. You like mac and cheese with every meal.
Oh, no, that's definitely a Southern thing. Mac and cheese is not a big deal on the West Coast, but when you come out here, if you are serving a meal, it better have mac and cheese.
She put sugar on hers.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Now, okay, let me ask you this.
Sugar, girl, sugar, what?
He's seen it. He's seen me do it.
Sugar on spaghetti. Yes or no?
No.
But I do put it in my sauce.
I'm not
a little
much for
bit.
spaghetti.
I put sugar in my sauce and I put sugar on top of my spaghetti.
No, it's just like his dad would put sugar and salt on his cantaloupe and his watermelon. I'm like, okay, I can see the salt, but I never understood the sugar.
No, pepper goes on cantaloupe.
Salt. The reason
Yeah,
people
he put pepper on it too.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
The reason people put salt on their fruit is because it actually brings out the flavor, or it's supposed to. I never really understood that. Salt on watermelon is really good.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Yeah.
But the sugar, I just never got. So, but yeah, I
to enhance the flavor. It just makes it salty to me, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those weird things. We go out to eat with people, and if I get mac and cheese, I'll be sitting there looking.
UFO.
No, I'll be looking for the sugar packet. And they go, "What are you looking for? You don't drink coffee, sugar." And they go, "What for?" And I go, I need it for my mac and cheese." But it's no different than putting cheese on your apple pie.
I will tell you though, I am all for trying new things, and I just started this last 10 years of my life where I'll try new foods. So I am going to try this just to say I tried it, but I think I'm just going to try it on a bite. Because mac and cheese, when you move to the South, you have to perfect your mac and cheese recipe. When I first moved here, I did not know how to make mac and cheese unless it came out of a box.
Yeah, if it was Kraft, you could do it, right?
Yeah, and then
who taught y'all to make mac and cheese?
And not you.
Yeah, right.
You did. When did you make mac and cheese?
The secret to good mac and cheese is put egg in it.
You did tell me that about egg. You did tell me that about the scrambled egg.
You don't know nothing about that.
I did not make it with scrambled egg. He did tell me about that. I tried it with that, and now it's just stuck. So, but yeah, mac and cheese is probably my most requested dish at Thanksgiving. We host Thanksgiving every year, and I have a friend of Sean's that actually will offer to pay me for an extra pan of mac and cheese. I don't ever take that payment,
so what cheeses do you use?
I typically try to do a tri-blend, to be honest with you.
It's got to have extra sharp cheddar.
Yep, extra sharp cheddar. I like a white cheddar, probably a Colby Jack, and then obviously Velveeta.
Why, obviously?
Because that's how I make my cheese sauce.
Oh, okay.
The creamier.
And do you use block cheese or shredded?
I will shred the block. Now that's I was gonna say that is a key. Like I like the top to be crispy. And if you get that bag cheese, you don't get that crispy. It just gets real runny and weird.
Right.
Yeah, it's oily.
Well,
Yeah,
it's because
it's not oily.
it has a thing on it has
Yeah, I
a
like
coating
it crispy
on it.
on the top.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
a coating on it to keep it from sticking in the bag, and so it screws everything up. That's why I buy block cheese for that.
Now, I
Yeah.
did hear on TikTok that if you get the bag cheese and you rinse it with water, it gets that coating off.
Yeah.
But I find that to be weird, and I don't want to test it because
that just sounds weird.
I feel like that's going to waste a whole bag of cheese. So I'd rather just shred the block.
It does. It wastes it because what it does, it waters it and makes it mushy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazon comes in clutch with kitchen appliances. So I've got like a little thing that sticks to the counter and you just put the block in and turn it really fast and it shreds the whole block, you
Why
know?
do we go from paranormal?
I don't know. To cheese.
Because
Hey,
it's
you got talking
it's-
about food. And
I
food
love
always comes in on a paranormal investigation.
You
know what?
Paranormal Nation
Yeah.
Radio, not so normal.
I
Yeah.
love
part
it
of
though.
not so normal, don't you get? No.
Hey, I love it though. You gotta think I'm a big dude. I love it. I'll talk about food.
Well, I can tell you how food fits into the paranormal. Okay. I can tell you this. When we schedule an investigation, what is the first message that goes out in our group chat? Does anybody need me to pick up any snacks?
Yep.
I'm bringing A, B, C, and D.
Yep.
I've got the coffee and the creamer. Can somebody grab the sugar?
We made the biggest paranormal mistake Saturday though.
We did.
You forgot the food?
No, we ate it Mexican before we investigated.
We
That's
all-
what we always do.
You're guaranteed to see the little green guys that way.
Yeah.
That's usually what we end up doing by accident sometimes.
Yeah,
Well, maybe
somehow,
that's why
some way, we always
everybody
eat
was-
Mexican.
Maybe that's why everybody was seeing shit, the margaritas.
Literally seeing shit.
Yeah, there was a couple that had a rough time.
Yeah.
There was a couple that
But you got to eat smart though. You can eat Mexican
Yeah.
and not have a problem. But
Right.
you have to pick things that aren't going to give you a problem. If you know that cheese gives you gas, or you have stomach problems with cheese, don't get nothing with too cheesy.
like I said, you got to stay away from like the dishes that have like the grilled onions in them because
Mhm.
like
Green peppers
and green peppers, they create gas.
That's my problems. I love
or a
onions.
salad with cucumbers and
Yeah.
radishes.
That's my biggest problems. I love onions.
You know what she just said? Did you hear Denise?
What?
She just said radishes. Remember we had a conversation? You were like, what the hell is a radish?
If he don't know what a radish is, I wonder if he knows what a kohlrabi is.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
That sounds like a weird
mixture
animal.
That's a mixture between a radish and a turnip that grows on top of the ground.
Radishes are.
It's real good.
I
Real
will have
good.
to check that out. See now,
I'll
It's
try
from
to do one.
Walmart.
now how do you eat your radishes?
I
Slice
don't.
them up and eat them.
I don't even know what you're talking about. So.
I'll eat them whole, or I'll eat them.
Radish.
You don't want.
Nice.
You can try one. You won't.
I'll make
Probably won't like it.
I'll make them in vinegar and water.
Okay.
So there's
Now we
all
got-
kinds of different ways, and I like them cut up and put in like pasta salad. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for, but it's usually green salad.
So my
Without putting
stepdad is from El Salvador, and radishes are like a big thing in like Spanish dishes. And so I grew up eating radishes with lemon and salt. Lemon and salt.
I grew up just
Good.
picking them up and eating them,
Right.
and never peeled them, just washed them off and ate them.
That's
I've
right.
done that.
A lot of people think they got to be peeled, but they
Yeah.
can get kind of. Some of them are spicy sometimes,
Yeah, it's a little spicy.
but they're really good with ranch dressing as a snack.
They are.
But you're gonna get burpy.
Yeah.
That's, so not good pre paranormal investigation.
Susan
But of
said
course-
radishes raw with salt. You got to have the salt.
That's right.
See, in my case, I'm the burper. I don't even have to eat anything, and I'm burping, and I'm louder than everybody in the place.
Oh
See,
yeah.
and Tom's the stomach growler.
Mine comes out the other end.
Oh well, mine comes out this one, but that's mostly where all the shit I talk comes out anyway.
Actually, when we got our EVP in Rainworth. The reason I had just passed gas and it was loud, it was horrible. And my daughter was standing behind me, she was screaming at me. And we were all talking about it. And then next thing you know, you hear a voice come through that was none of ours. It was like a little kid's voice. Yeah. I wonder if that fart triggered.
Oh my God.
Probably did.
Yeah,
it could have.
I mean, we're sitting here talking about it out loud. I'm like, man, I fart really loud on every investigation. It's like a ritual I have. I have to do it.
You haven't done it the last two.
The last two, I haven't done it. I don't know why. Ever since my surgery.
Because there's people around you didn't want to know.
Did the kids say anything or just was he laughing?
It was like gibberish. So we couldn't make it out. I called every team member. I'm like, well, y'all goofing off making a voice, but the voice was so weird. It was like nobody could, if you can make that voice, you need to be an actor or something. Like,
so did you choke it up? Is that it?
I don't know. I think so. It probably couldn't talk after that. It was pretty rough. I wanted to get out of there myself. Like it was
not right now.
Yeah, even my bass player is on our investigation team. He and his wife. And they hear me fart all the time, but he was like, Sean, you nasty bastard.
That was one of those.
It was bad.
Okay. Well, at least they gave warning. It wasn't silent but deadly.
Oh no, all deadly. Silent. None of them. I take pride in my trumpet.
Oh my God.
And see, I take pride in my burping.
There you go. So I told you we're related somehow.
We have to be.
I've got a lot of what's the correct word to say? I got a lot of, I'm just gonna say it, white folks in my family.
And I don't know what's in my family.
I've been doing my ancestry. I got a lot.
Fill out one of her big burps, and then now everybody will kind of look at me like, "Hey, damn, did you know that?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Excuse me.
After.
And then he usually says,
after I married her.
And after that, he usually says,
I'm gonna play it. I've got the EVP right here.
Oh Lord!
So you can hear
you got my fart on there?
No, I'm fast forwarding it.
Oh.
Did you hear the child's voice?
Yeah, we couldn't make out what it was saying, but that's none of us.
It is some words.
It almost sounds. Can you hold my hand? That's what I'm
gagging, trying to get away.
Yeah,
that's what he was doing.
Bastard.
It probably said, "Do you need to wipe your ass?"
After the way that one sounded, because I do mark my farts in our evidence videos.
Oh my God!
Like the last one was that Rainworth.
You need to make a blooper reel of all that and put it on YouTube.
Oh, she's caught me dancing in front of the camera.
Oh yeah.
There's countless fart videos on camera. I'll mark it purposefully, like Courtney. I caught some evidence. You can check it out. And she'll go look at it like, you nasty bastard.
Well, at least she's not smelling it.
That's funny.
Oh, I make sure she does at home though.
Oh well, that's her job at home.
Oh yeah, I hold her head under the covers.
Oh my God!
You're good to go until they make smell-o-vision.
Well, I got a brother that can fart on command, so that's really impressive.
That's talented.
That's talent.
On command.
He totally plays the pull my finger joke.
I wish I could do that.
The pull my finger joke?
No, fart on command.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you gotta do is this.
Oh my goodness. That's funny.
It's been a lifelong thing too. Ever since he was what, 2?
Yeah, I don't think he's ever burped in his life. I can't remember.
Good God.
So we're coming up on 6:15, and I know you guys have a show tonight.
We do.
Yeah, that's right.
So we want to make sure that we're cognizant of your time and that we don't keep you too long. But tell everybody where they can find you.
I appreciate that. So we're on Facebook, TikTok, email, all that fun stuff. We have 2 pages. They're listed below our names right here. We've got Hill City Paranormal. That's our actual paranormal team. And then HCP Paranormal Podcast. That's where we stream live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We take the liberty to interview other teams. Sometimes you might find us on just a random day having an open discussion. Or if we get like something super compelling, we might like call for a last minute podcast. We're available via email. If you have any questions, concerns, you don't like us, you do like us, it doesn't matter. I take all opinions. Hill City Ghosts, that is plural, at gmail.com. We are available for private investigations as well. I've had a lot of people reach out and ask if we do like in-home investigations. Yes, we do. We do take cases. And stuff like that. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions regarding that as well. And we are on TikTok at Hill City Ghosts, plural.
And any events coming up soon that people can join in?
We will be having a public event. I have not decided the date yet because, again, I'm still in recovery. So it's probably going to be sometime towards the end of June. We have an investigation that we're doing June 22nd. That's right backing the Appomattox battlefield. So that one is going to be super cool because for those that are Civil War buffs, that's where the Civil War ended.
Yeah, me too.
Is Appomattox. So we'll be doing Clover Hill Village, who just recently opened up their location for paranormal investigators to come and investigate. So we're going to be checking that out. And then, like I said, we'll probably have a public investigation somewhere in there around that time frame as well.
Well, keep in touch and let me know what's going on. We're planning a trip to, well, I can't say where, but we're planning a trip to near Virginia
Okay.
in June. And so it'll be interesting to see how that turns out, but we
Tennessee.
can't say. So,
Gatlinburg.
so it's not that far. I mean,
Or Old
let's
South
just say.
Pittsburgh.
We got a bunch of things coming up. But, if we get a chance and we're going to be near where you are, we'll let you know so that we can, hang out with you.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a fair shot so that you can get a cork. Keep him from being loud.
Bring him some radishes. He'll be okay.
No, I'm good. I'll pass. We got to plan a dual investigation one day too.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but
Yeah.
thank you so much though for coming on. And
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Everybody join me every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central for the Paranormal Pride. This next Monday, my guest is Ronnie D from Old South Pittsburgh. Yep, and Harriman Hospital. So it'll be good. It'll be the first time I've ever talked to him. I've heard him many, many times on interviews. So it'll be fun to have him on. And then join us here next Tuesday night at 5 o'clock Central for whoever I can find to make it an interesting night.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for having us. We're definitely honored every time we get asked to join the Paranormal Nation.
Anytime.
It's a lot of fun.
Anytime.
It's a lot of fun.
You guys are great.
Yeah. So
They were
All
both
right.
excited when I told them you guys were coming on again.
yeah.
We got just as excited.
Sean did get excited. He was just like, oh, awesome. Let's do it. And I was like, because I told him, I said, you want to jump on? He's like, yeah. There was no hesitation.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
I love those nights when you like the investigation you just did on Saturday, where it's just you got all the activity and you can't sleep. I mean, usually when it's like I'm up all night, that's what happens to me. I just stay up all night.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how I am.
That's when it's really fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
We've done investigations 2.5 hours away where we've been up all day, driven to the location, investigated all night, and we were so hyped up from all the activity that we drove back home before we fell asleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's getting harder the older I get. But I can still do it if there's things going on. You know,
Right.
If it's a slow night, not so much.
We cut out early.
Yeah, not so much. Our last location, we cut out at like 5. I think we had it till like 8 a.m. and we ended up, everybody on our team was just done. And so, and the activity had stopped. And so we were like, do we sleep for 2.5 hours and then leave? or is that going to make it worse? And so I told Sean, I said, I think me going to sleep is going to make it worse.
Yeah.
So, you know, we drove home or whatever. But if you've got an active night, man, you're not sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
Had many times where we wouldn't stay where we were investigating. There's times I woke
Yeah.
up. I just looked at him and said, we got to go home. I said, I can't. And every time I've said that, it's paid off because I was sick as hell the next day. Didn't even know why or anything else, but he knows if I'm saying we have to go home, we have to go home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But thank you guys. And
Yeah, thank you.
Carl, you want to sign off?
Yeah.
Have a wonderful night.
Everybody check out the Billerites Network that we do the show on and everything. The Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment Facebook page, Things Network page, and Japan Paranormal's Facebook page. So watch all them shows over on all those networks and everything. So we want to thank everybody for joining us here, and check us out on Born TV on Rumble, where we're always live over there. Everybody have a good evening, and we'll see you next week on Paranormal Nation Radio.
Yep.
Not so
Good night,
long.
everybody.
Good night.